thing, and that's what we're here to talk about. That's exact, and I'm glad you asked that because that's the whole point of why we're here. Because there are some of us who say yes, there's some of us who say no. So I'm going to push that then. Thank you for that. I'm going to throw this to Ms. Miata because I heard it in your opening statement before. You talked, you addressed it. Is there really, now, I've always heard that the positive N-word is the one with the A on it. And if you put an ER on it, now you don't have to. A on it, now you so, okay, now that's a whole nother thing. You start heading south from there. You start sounding Jones. Okay, exactly. So, is there a difference between A, ER? Does it make a difference? What is that? How do you define it?
Let me just say this. Okay, when we were slaves, we were given the garbage parts of the pig, right? We were given the intestines, the snout, the foot, the tail, right? Go to Sylvia's today in Harlem, and they paying top dollar to eat what is now considered a delicacy, okay? So what I want to say about the N-word is that it could be considered a delicacy, or it could be considered, just a trap. You see what I'm saying? So to me, Will is my AH. You know what I'm saying? I bang with him. You know what I'm saying? I roll with him. I rock with him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem saying that. And I'm not going to be ashamed of that. I'm not going to be ashamed of the word because it is a word. But let's be for real. Words have power. They're atomic. And the minute they leave your mouth, they create a whole other universe in another show. You feel me? So, yes, there's a difference between ER and AH. To me, there is.
Well, who use ER anymore?
Okay, well, let me push back on that. That's basically the argument that you typically hear, right? That it's about us. When we're talking to each other, it's about us. But I would like to push back on that. Before there ever was an N-word, there were black people.
Absolutely.
Before the N-word was invented, black people were on this planet. So why would we choose to continue to use a word that someone else used to define? Could you talk about that?
Well, this is because I am the I am principle. All of us are the I am principle. When Moses was at the burning bush and he asked the Most High, who is this? Who are you? And he says, I am that I am. Okay? So each one of you in this room possess the I am principle. I am that I am. So I am not a woman. I am not a black woman. I am not I am. That is what I am. You feel me? So regardless of what you attach to me, I still am the child of the Most High. I still am the essence of the divine. So regardless of what what you put attached to me, it doesn't change who I am and my essence as my spirit. So no words don't define me. My clothes don't define me. My color doesn't define me. My gender doesn't define me. I am that I am. That's just my perspective. I come from a very spiritual perspective, and I hope that you can embrace that. But I'm not going to be defined by anything. And if a white person called me an ER, I would refer to him. I would just say, no, I don't receive that because that's not who I am. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yes, sir.
What you said. Prior to saying that, you said words have power, they're toxic.
Some words are toxic.
Right.
Some words can be healing too.
Well, we're talking about the N-word, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And when you said, you said words of power and they're toxic, and that when you attach, even when you said he's my AH, he's my, you didn't say it.
I didn't say it because there are babies in the room.
Okay.
Okay, what's my nigga?
Okay. All right, but what I'm saying is...
It hurt worse than that.
But what I'm saying is that... What I'm hearing say is to the babies in the room. Okay. And you're conscious of that. So, in essence, maybe this ain't the right thing to say in front of my child or a child. So that makes it a negative.
Well, I said it in front of my child.
I know you did. Well, I don't know you did. But what I'm saying is that prior to that, you are in the back of your mind, this is rated R.
Well, no, I took my guidance from the moderator, and I think you did use it.
Yes,
but I think that because he set the tone, I think I was following in that tone. I was being respectful. But I'm not ashamed of nigga, like I described earlier. It's our word. My nig, right?
Meaning that goes,
You know what I'm saying? It comes from it's our word first, you know, and we speak a language that's not our own. Understand that too, you know. And for instance, I'm going to shut up in a second, but for instance, you know, you're taught in elementary school synonyms, words that have multiple meanings, you know what I'm saying? So there's thousands of words in the English language that sound the same but have different meanings. So why can't nigger be one of those? That's just my argument.
Dr. Hardy, you have something you want to say?
well, I was going to say that a lot of the tension that comes along with the use of the word, either nigger, nigga, I don't know how to say it the right way, I sound that word, I do want to say the other word, but I'm sound extra corny. But part of it is, it's just the group that's using it. So say, for example, if I'm working with prostitutes, it's like, oh, look at this chick over here. If I'm working with another girl, oh, look at that bitch. It's like whatever you can use, it's like this is what people call us as a negative, but we're embracing it, and as I said before, turning it around. It just so happens that it's attached to racial connotations that have been used to bring us down. But so is trick, and so is, you know, bitch. So it really depends on what you're using. It just happens that we have a large group of people who have been penalized and killed because of it unfairly. And it's not just, you know, cool, cute thing to do, but it is the same thing. It just happens to be what it's related to.
If I could follow up on that, and I'm going to engage everyone else here. I see you, Mr. Hammond. I want to follow up with you here, though, Dr. Hardy. When I listen to what you just said, as a clinical psychologist, someone who studies the mind, how do you explain to a child, if you're going to say it in front of children, first of all, what kind of impact does that word have on children? When I would imagine that a child, it would be extremely difficult for them to understand the distinction between A and ER, to understand the distinction between the hurt that our community has suffered from the word and how we're trying to, understanding that we're trying to use it in a positive light. How do children grasp that? And can they, and what impact does the word tend to have on them?
Words are taught. So you're only naturally born saying dad, dad, gaga, mama. In almost every culture, they make those pronunciations. So the word nigger is actually taught to people, and its meaning is also taught. Now, what they can sense about it being a bad word or a curse word is how their parents are giving it. So if I'm arguing with you and I say the word, my little ears hear, oh, that must be a bad word to say. So they just pick up on what the feeling of it is. They don't really know what it means until we assign the feeling to it. So then they know, okay, well, okay, this is not a bad word to use, or this is a bad word to use. Look at also our videos. They're up there doing this the whole time, too. It's not until you tell them little kids don't do this that they start doing it. They learn off of what we teach them, what we show them, what we provide in their environment. So they're just taught that.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hardy. I want to jump to you, Mr. Hanlon. As a representative of the NAACP, and this is related, I just want to throw this in here. As a former history teacher, I can tell you that on a whim one day, I asked our students, what does NAACP mean? And in 2 weeks of teaching, not one of them knew what it meant.
Wow.
I then turned around and asked them, what does KKK mean? They all knew what it meant. So I'm going to throw this out here to you. In an environment in which our community doesn't even know who we are, we don't know our own organizations, why do you think we fight so hard to hold on to such a historical word as the N-word when we're so unclear about something as fundamental to who we are as the NAACP? How do you reconcile that? And what does that say about who we think we are?
I'm gonna address that in a couple parts. When I think the use of the N-word, for one, the use of it is generational. So you have different generations that use the word, and they use it in different contexts. And older, when I say older, I mean people that are from 75 on up. Their definition of it is totally different. When you have people that went through the civil rights movement during the 60s, 50s and 60s, part of the 70s, their interpretation of the N-word is totally different because it was always abusive. It was always used as a form of hatred. It was always used as a way to say, you know what, get over there, nigger. You know, it was used like that. It was like, you know, it was back in the times with colored bathrooms, white bathrooms. It was used at a time when, you know, y'all sit in the back of the bus, we sit up in the front. So it has a negative tone to people that are maybe slightly older than myself. Slightly. Older than myself. I just turned 40. But then you have the generations that use the word now. They have no idea. If they don't know, they don't even know what's in their own community. You got a lot of kids that live in West Baltimore, never even been to East Baltimore, let alone knowing what the NAACP is. They don't know what East Baltimore looks like. Some of them don't know. Some of them go as far west as Montgomery.
Wow.
So, keeping it real, when these kids, when they're using the N-word, they don't know, you know, they don't know all of that. They don't know the history of it. All they know is they heard Jay-Z say it. It's got to be cool. It's got to be cool, Jay-Z
But
said
they
it.
know when to say it.
Right. You know, so, and if they're listening to the same as you realize, you have grandparents now that are 35. You know, grandma ain't 70 no more. Grandma's 35, 40. She listens to the same music that her kids listen to. My kids listen to the same music that I listen to. So when we listen to, and then a lot of it is in our music, in hip hop, I'll say, in our rap music. So when these kids are listening to it, they thinking, oh, but mommy said it's okay, daddy said it's okay, and Jay-Z said it's okay. So everybody in my circle, as a 5-year-old, everybody uses it. Everybody says it's okay. They don't know the history. But I think if they did, at some point, they may use it less if they thought that there was a campaign, there'd be some kind of campaign or movement to get them to not do it. Other than that, they're going to do it. They're going to, and just as they've always done it, you know, like they say, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, and we've been around a long time. So,